to the show Get Celebritized, where I, Aurea McGarry, bring you wonderful guests that tell you stories of their success, their triumphs, their tragedies, and I really bring to you people that are going to tell you some nuts and bolts about how they went from a dream or a goal and maybe how they got derailed or how something could have very easily stopped them, but they did it anyway. And on so many shows, you don't really hear those I'm going to say those secret sauces, those moments in time that kind of get skipped over, that you hear that, oh, well, I was here and I was down in the dumps and all of a sudden they're a millionaire or they're successful. And you don't really get the, wait a minute. What was that how-to? Or did you meet somebody special that took you by the hand? And if so, what did they say to you that made that difference? So this is Get Celebritized, helping business owners, especially women too, get their business known. So you all can become the go-to celebrities in your industry. So why not you? So this podcast and / TV show is just for you. If you're an entrepreneur or business owner, do not go away. Stay tuned. Follow this show because the celebrity guest I bring on and the average everyday person as well that nobody may have ever heard of that has a story that's going to ignite your dreams could be on this show at any moment. You never know. Actually, I have some people on the show tonight that you just may have never heard of, but you're going to be so glad I introduced you to them. The first half of the show, I've got two wonderful gentlemen that I'm going to bring on right away, but don't go away because the second half of this show, I'm bringing on Carol Dockum, and she is the founder of Beautiful Faces Going Places. It's a wonderful women's community, and she is a success coach, and she empowers women across the globe. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. She's got exciting news coming up about women in business and how you can be a part of her exciting community and network with other women across the world. But first, without any further ado, I'm going to bring up two amazing gentlemen, and we're going to find out how they know each other and what they're doing for kids. So I'm going to introduce the first guest. It's Kipling Luke Sanders. He's an author and a speaker. Kip thinks of himself as a chosen child, adopted as a baby. His amazing adopted parents provided him with a life of education and access. Kip has his master's degree in aviation science and is a tennis instructor. Despite these exceptional opportunities, Kip experienced a life of challenges brought home by his own self-doubt. It's these hurdles that drove him to find balance and success by turning tragedies into triumphs. What a perfect guest for this show. He has crafted these life lessons into an engaging book for children and adults, because I loved it too. Kip continues to inspire with his message of confidence, world peace, which we all know we need more of that these days, and love through a revised perception of oneself. But joining him tonight, and you'll find out the story of how these two gentlemen go together, is none other than John Eagleton. He's the co-founder and the executive director for tennis at Sports Ed TV. You've got to look that up. John has devoted his life to tennis, both as a player and a coach. Growing up in South Africa, he identified tennis early on as an avenue to use his athletic talents to see the world and broaden his horizons. After achieving the #1 world junior ranking, John headed to the University of Miami and became one of the school's best players ever. But he's going to tell us, I'm going to ask him this question about how he switched from one sport to tennis. I really love this story. John beat 7 NCAA champions and competed on the ATP Tour, achieving top 250 rankings in both singles and doubles. So let me bring on these amazing guys, and I want to tell you why I have them on today. And it's not just about tennis. It's about so much more. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aurea. Very excited to be here today.
I am honored to have you both here, and I'm going to bring you up on this big screen because I can't wait for everybody to hear your story. And I have to say, I know if you guys are watching the show, not listening to podcasts, this book that you've written, Kip, The Wonderful Adventures, my fans are going to laugh, of Lemur Blue, because I'm a huge animal fanatic. And this picture of this lemur, you had me at lemur, Kip. You had me at lemur. And never mind the eagle. So, Kip, let me bring you on front and center. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here today. Thank you for having me. I think.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. You've got a great story, Kip. And this book that you just wrote is phenomenal. And we're going to talk about it a little bit because it's got some great bells and whistles and it's different than any other book anybody has ever read. We're going to talk about that. So I want them to stay tuned. So before we get to that, tell us what inspired you to write this book and a little bit about how your background plays into this book.
Okay. Basically, I've been a tennis coach for decades, and so certified, sometimes not certified. But nevertheless, my mother, she's a philanthropic soul, and she ended up discovering and founding the Lemur Conservation Foundation in Mayaka City, Florida. Great job down there, guys. Keep up the good work.
Yay!
And basically, through my mother's nonprofit organization and my tennis experience, and also life lessons, life struggles and challenges, it brought me to a point through life where it inspired me to where I wanted to help kids with self-esteem issues and help basically urge kids to grow up and be strong and courageous and succeed and to be inclusive and to be open to other people as well, to be inclusive and accepting of others, pretty much.
You know, the world really needs more of that now, Kip, more now than ever before.
Yeah.
So what is one memory you have or one aha moment that made you want to take your life struggles and your experiences and turn it into this amazing book, The Wonderful Adventures of Lemur Blue? It's so well done and the life lessons are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Basically, it was through challenges of my personal life where I struggled with, I was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and bipolar and depression. So I got the triple whammy. But basically, I've overcome a lot of that. And I've overcome a lot of other things as well. I used to drink and I stopped drinking in 2011. And so that has brought me toward a really spiritual path and to a path of enlightenment and to the road of a lot of solutions where there would be error in the path.
I'm so glad you used your struggles to make a difference, and especially for kids. So with that, we're going to bring on John. And John, your mic is open, so we're going to let you talk for a second as I'm going to bring you on the big screen as well. But first of all, Kip, tell us, how do you know John? How do you two come together? I know you have tennis in common, but give me the intro first.
Okay, basically, we both worked together at Serendipity, the country club of Sarasota. It was about 2012, 2013, and I really liked his style of coaching. I really liked his toughness, and I liked his kindness at the same time as well. And so through those character traits, I thus was created Coach Eagleton to teach Lemur Blue how to play tennis and how to succeed with some life lessons as well.
So that is so cool. I hope everybody's getting this. If you're only listening on podcast, I want you to go to The Wonderful Adventures of Lemur Blue. And the cover is so cute because this handsome eagle is none other than John Eagleton. John, come on up to the screen here. Tell us what it feels like to have a character in this amazing book named after you and personified after you.
I mean, it's such an honor to be, be part of Kipling's vision to begin with, which is a great vision, and the great things he's doing in making a difference in the world. It's also a great honor to star in a book, but it's really, if you're doing what Kipling and me are doing, it's never about us. It's about what we can do for people. And in this case, it's about kids. So when he talked to me about being in a kid's book and there was a few drawings and stuff, I was very excited because I'm all about kids and how we can help them, how we can direct them. Everything about the book is very exciting. It's about life lessons, and we can use sports for life lessons. There's very few tools than sport that bring people together, which is definitely needed even more so today.
Yeah.
And I'm just really honored to be part of Kipling's journey, and I'm honored to be on a path where I can make a difference. I guess I'm the bald eagle. I am John Eagleton.
You're not bald.
I'm a long way from bald, but I am the bald
Yeah.
eagle and the coach of making Lemur Blue, a world champion.
I love it. I love it. In the book, it talks about you address, Kip, failure, practice, concentration, positive relationships. It is so full of these life lessons, and what better way to do it with animals, which kids can relate to, but it's also fun reading for adults, and we can also read these to our kids as well.
Exactly.
But Kip, I'm going to ask you this. What are some characteristics that make this book different? Because it is so different, which ties into you, John, and that's why I have your website up, sportsedtv.com. Make sure if you're listening to this on podcast, you go and check this out. It is a unique place on the internet. But Kip, first tell us what makes this book different, and then Ed, I'm going to talk to you about this actual website that you have that's so incredible.
Okay, what makes this book unique is that it's embedded with Sports Ed TV world-class tennis lesson links in there. So you're gonna get basically tennis videos. All you have to do is put up your cell phone or your iPad to the book in the page, and basically you'll have tennis lesson videos going on for you. You'll get.
I love that. Yeah, show me a page. So, is it different QR codes for different lessons, or is it one QR code for the whole book?
This is the one with a lot of QR codes. For instance,
so
you can get a forehand, a backhand, a serve, and then they have some more along the lines over.
This is so unique. This is so unique.
Yeah, it's really unique because they put them in, and then it's like the character Blue is learning how to do a forehand, or he's hitting a forehand, and then the kids in the book, or even an adult, they can go like, okay, and then they'll learn a world-class elite level from an elite level coach. Tennis lessons that are, I'm gonna say it's well worth over,
thousands
or tens of thousands of dollars with the production of everything as well. So
did you make this?
Steal buying the book.
They are. Did you create this before the pandemic or during? Or was this already done before we all got locked up?
I created this in basically 2005 is when I started, and I finished it toward the end of 2019. So I started and I stopped, and I started and I stopped. And I got inspired by Coach Eagleton. And I couldn't have plucked a better feather.
Of course.
Yeah.
The reason I asked, because this is so timely. It's like you had this foresight to know that we were going to go virtual, because literally I really want the people listening in on podcasting to go and see this book. Go find it on Amazon, because what he's showing us is inside this beautifully graphic, this illustrated, colorful book of a adorable lemur and this big, strong eagle, John Eagleton, the tennis coach. Not only are kids learning tennis, they're learning life lessons, sharing and concentration, and all these great life lessons we all know we learn from sports. But if you put your phone up to all these different really cool QR codes, it'll immediately take you to the internet. And I'm going to bring John back on. Tell us what happens when these kids or parents put their phone up to these QR codes, and their phone becomes what to them? I think this is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Sports Ed TV is, I guess, an ecosystem for coaches, for parents, for students. And we are literally the world's largest free education site on a multi-platform for different sports. In tennis, some days I can reach 1 million people, so I have a lot of reach. And we are in every country, anywhere, anytime, free. So I like that, because that means it's available to everybody. And we've literally been seen in every country, and on a daily basis that happens. But what it is, in reality, is we're creating a brand that's a reliable source. So it's not just about my videos, even though a lot of my videos are in Kipling's book. It's about also being a platform for the best coaches and bringing them on and connecting parents, and then creating a global we're a global sports brand, and we only can live on our main site in movie production. So we film with 5 cameras on the site.
Wow.
But we do have campaign directors in every sport. In basketball, we get somebody that's, played for the Miami Heat. We get Mark Strickland. We get Tim Hardaway. In weightlifting, we get the Olympic weightlifting coach. In soccer, we get a guy that's Roy Wagerly, played for Chelsea, a couple of World Cups. In Taekwondo, we have world champions. But the point about it is that if you go on our brand, we're going to provide you with the best coaches. You're going to know what you're getting, so that hopefully, and we are becoming the world's,
And it's all free, right, John? It's all free.
Yeah.
So all they have to do is buy this adorable book that, again, you guys who are listening, watch it. I wish I could show you B-roll, but you got to go find it on Amazon. You find it at Target. It's The Wonderful Adventures of Lemur Blue. Lemur is Lemur Blue, the little lemur animals that I love. It's a whole nother story about my experiences with lemurs, but it's so great because inside there, thank you. You have to show that up proudly there.
And in relation to the book there, when they go on there, the one thing these kids can do is watch videos. They do understand the internet. So they can
like the videos, definitely.
So they can just go on there and pick the video and learn the tip. So we hope that makes a difference, and it makes the experience of the book that much better for the kids, because that's the world they're living in, right? I guess we're all living it too.
Exactly. I just think you were just so forward thinking in this, because we need it now virtually more than ever. But to have access, I hope more people follow suit with this, because you're right. This is worth thousands and thousands of dollars they get in this beautiful children's book with these QR codes. And I just think that's so fascinating. You're able to do this. Kip, what a great thing to do. What a great story. I hope you'll do more. I hope there'll be lots more adventures, lots more different animals and all that. But John, while I have you right here front and center, I really loved this story that I read about you, and it really follows suit in my audience that really need to bounce back from things and need to turn lemons and bad, even just some simple bad situations into something great. Tell us why you switched from cricket to tennis when you were a child, because I think this is very poignant.
Well, I was young. I was probably a little feisty, maybe a little competitive, and at that time, life was very conservative. You couldn't say anything to your parents, but I was on a very good cricket team and the captain. I was playing on a state team, and I got there on the morning it'd be like arriving at Miami Dolphin Stadium at the Hard Rock. You're not playing in front of people, but you get to play there, and there's 11 people on a cricket team. Well, there's actually 12, one extra man. I got there a little bit early, and the one guy said, somebody has to sit out. He said, what about that guy? And that was me. And he said, well, he got you first. And the other guy said, that doesn't matter. But the other guy said, he's pretty good. So he said, well, somebody has to sit out. So there I am sitting out. And I'm thinking, well, all right, I'm also the captain of my rugby team. Rugby was big in South Africa. I was young, pretty good in track, but I was kind of the state champion in tennis. And after sitting there for 6 hours, I looked at this and I said, I could be playing tennis right now. And that day I did a very strange thing. I walked out of team sports, and would be one of the last few times I would play team sport. I decided I wanted to play tennis because it's a sport that nobody can ever tell me if I'm good enough to play, and I can enter the tournaments and I can show up, and I have to be accountable, and whatever happens. I was okay with winning or losing or not succeeding. But I didn't like being benched and in the hands of other people. I learned a very hard lesson that morning, and maybe in some ways, many times my competitive spirit has hurt me, but I guess it also took me to have the most wins and fewest losses at University of Miami. Stubbornness can be a good thing, even though I did not probably look too good in the eyes of adults back then, but I walked out of team sports and quitting the rugby and cricket team. They called me in front of the principal. They thought there was something seriously wrong.
Well, what I love, John, about that is you at that moment as a child felt that never again am I going to do something where somebody can say, sorry, you're out. You took control of your life. You took control of your future at such a young age. And I think that's such a great learning point for my audience to hear that, because when somebody's saying, I'm sorry, you're not good enough, or I'm sorry, you're too this or you're too that, especially with my women community. And we're the worst to ourselves. Like, we don't think we're pretty enough or tall enough or young enough or thin enough. It's like, enough. Only you you can be the one that chooses whether you go forward or not. And John, when you said nobody's ever going to bench me again, especially they didn't even know you, they said, up you, you're done. And you said, nope, I'm going to go to tennis where I either play or I don't play, either win or I lose, but you don't get benched. I just thought that was a really great moment in your life. Thank you for sharing that.
And you know, there is a way to be benched, and I talk about the U factor. And when I say the U, everybody thinks I'm talking about the University of Miami. But the U factor is how do you show up every morning, and how do you show up at every practice, and how many times a day do you bench yourself? So you don't wait properly. You don't warm up properly. You don't get the right food to get out. So there's 100 different ways to bench yourself. And so when you take accountability, you've got to be doing the checklist of how many times a day in your practice. Are you playing hard every point? But how many times a day do you, the U factor, you actually hurt yourself maybe with a negative thought? And we all have that, but you know, I'm just grateful. I just get on my hands and knees every day and say, thank you, God, that I'm healthy. Thank you for everything you've given me. I'm really not all that perfect. I'm a little stubborn.
That's a good thing.
But I love what Kipling is doing with this book, because it kind of fits in, you know, to what I like. Because one of the things I like about the book, everybody's talking about making a world champion, right? But if you have an academy like I had where Kipling was, and you have 30 good players all over the world, right? Maybe one player becomes a pro, but the ones that are not as good still learn the same life lessons in terms of competition and everything. So it's not just about making Grand Slam winners, as I've coached Alice Ferreira and some of them, but it's about all of the lessons that people learn. And when people learn together, and sports is a beautiful way to learn. It really
is. It is, John.
Win and lose,
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And for this, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for incorporating sports into this book. I think this is great. I'm going to bring Kip on for the very last few words on this. But John, you said something very, very good that I love, that don't bench yourself, because we can, like I said, women, we can be the worst to ourselves, especially get up every morning and don't bench yourself. That's going to be my new golden nugget from tonight. Don't bench yourself.
Me too.
So Kip, really, I love that. Do not bench yourself. So that was very powerful. And I'm going to bring Kip back on for the next. We have just a few minutes left. This has been so great. I hope everybody goes out, gets this book. It's beautifully done. It's got such great life lessons, and it's got QR codes to access to Sports Ed TV and these tennis lessons absolutely free, and they're worth thousands of dollars. Plus, in there is that whole Sports Ed TV is an amazing website filled with all sorts of different sports, different types of sports. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Kip, I'm going to bring you back for the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Tell me what else you'd like us to know about this beautiful book and where people can get it from, and your final words on this wonderful project you've done. And if you have any more coming up.
Okay. They can get this book at Amazon.com. Just pop in The Wonderful Adventures of Lemur Blue, or my name, Kipling Sanders, as an author, and my book will pop up. I want to mention quickly, I was named after an author, Rudyard Kipling. So it's interesting that I actually got published. And
that's cool.
I have about 4 other books in the making. The next book is a very feel-good book. It's positive affirmations and solutions to everyday issues that common people have. And then I'm planning on writing a few other Lemur Blue sequels.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to that. And,
can I ask you why lemurs? Why, out of all the animals in the kingdom, you picked lemurs?
Yeah,
and an eagle.
Because of my mom. She was philanthropic, and saved the world and Earth and stuff like that. And
back to her lemurs.
She founded the nonprofit organization, and I really did. I fell in love with ring-tailed lemurs. Ring-tailed lemurs are pretty neat. They're really neat things to see, and they're in.
I almost got one. When I lived in Florida, but you know what I got instead of the lemurs? They were beautiful lemurs. They were in St. Pete, Florida. And I went in to buy a cockatoo for my first wedding anniversary. Yeah. And we go to this guy's house. It was all these beautiful cockatoos in the backyard. And he has these gorgeous black ring-tailed lemurs. And I fell in love. They were beautiful. But back then they were a little bit more expensive than we wanted to spend. And then guess what hopped out of his bedroom that we got instead?
Wow.
A kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
I went for a cockatoo, fell in love with lemurs, ended up getting a Damas kangaroo for our first wedding anniversary. And she was just 1 pound, and we raised her. She was so wonderful. But yeah, you can have anything in Florida. Can't have them in Georgia. But
Well,
I love them.
I just want to thank you for what you do too, and helping inspire people's lives and changing people's lives as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Does your mom still run the nonprofit?
Yeah,
Please tell me what the website is. Tell us what it is.
LemurConservation.com, LemurConservationFoundation.com, or LemurReserve.org, I believe.
LemurReserve.org or Lemur Rescue
Reservation.
Lemur Reservation.
LemurReserve.com. It's been a
Okay.
while since I've been on the website.
And where in Florida is it?
It's in Mayaca City, Florida. I was just driving by there today, actually.
Wonderful. I'm a huge animal lover, so I want to
Yeah.
help. So make sure I get that link. I'll put
Sure.
that link in
We
all
can
the
even have you down
descriptions.
sometime, maybe.
Oh,
That'd be great.
you don't have to ask me twice. I'm there. I am there. I won my Emmy Award for doing a show on Noah's Ark Animal
Yes.
Rehabilitation Center, and I was hugging 1,000-pound bears and kissing cougars and playing with
Aw,
150-pound
how cool is
pythons.
that?
Animals are
awesome.
my jam. So thank you
Yeah,
again. Thank
totally
you,
cool.
both of you, so much. All right, guys. Thank you again. I hope you all go out and get this wonderful adventures of Lemur Blue. There will be more. Not only are you going to see great life lessons, it's beautifully illustrated, and you can hold it up again, Kip, one more time for those who can watch the show. If you're listening to the show and you want to watch this episode, you can find it on YouTube or find it on E360 TV and Roku, all those places, because it is a beautiful book. But just go to Amazon or go to Target. That's great, Kip. We can see it back up just a smidge. There you go. And inside, John Eagle and all of his friends from Sports Ed TV give you free tennis lessons and all these great different types of sports in this book, all online. You guys are so ahead of your time. Thank you again for being here with us. Thank you, John
Thank you for
Eagleton.
having us.
Yeah,
My
thank you for
pleasure.
having us. An honor to be on your show. And I was thinking about why a lemur at first, because I would never have been the bald eagle if you didn't invent the lemur.
Well, Eagleton goes right in hand in hand with the eagle, and the eagle is the most brave. And eagles soar alone. They don't grovel around with the chickens. You don't find eagles in crowds. You find them alone. And they ride above the wind, not in the storm. So eagles are so much to eagles that is such a great thing. And it's no coincidence why they are America's bird, because there's so much to them. Very strong. And boy, you made him look real good too, Kipling. He looks good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. All right. The Wonderful Adventures of Lemur Blue. Go get it today. And thank you, guys. And I'm going to let them go right back down into the audience now. And we are going to bring on my next wonderful guest. Thank you guys so much. This has been fantastic. Great book. Great guys. Support them. But you will absolutely love this book. Now, with any further ado, it is girl time. I'm going to bring on my girl, Carol Dockum. Come on up. Welcome. Let's get you.
Hello.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you so much, Aurea, for having me here tonight, on your Get Celebritized podcast show and program. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Carol, I'm so glad we reconnected. And I hope everybody is listening to this, because you are an empowering woman entrepreneur who empowering other women. You've got a great business, a great company. And you know me, I get lit up when it has to do with girl power, with women entrepreneurs, with mompreneurs, and coming together and sticking together. Because again, now more than ever, we need to collaborate and not competition. We need to be able to find stages and communities where we can let people know the pain we solve, and in a non-salesy way. But I just love your community.
Thank you.
Let me get yours up on here, because you are just amazing. Beautiful faces going places. Carol, tell me about yourself and how you got started with this amazing women's networking group.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to John and Kip. What a fantastic podcast interview they provided. And I just was so inspired by their story and excited about their book as well. And wow, what an impact they are creating for children around the world. So that was just amazing. Yeah. So Aurea, I am just happy that you and I reconnected online. And I've just got to say, since
Clubhouse, I'm always preaching Clubhouse, people.
Exactly. Clubhouse. I mean, when Clubhouse popped onto the circuit, I immediately immediately saw the opportunity of really being able to connect with entrepreneurs and particularly women in business around the globe.
Really
So
is worldwide. And
Yeah,
we've known each other, but we've reconnected
yes.
through Clubhouse. And I've had a lot of reconnections because of that. But really now, I mean, if you've ever wanted to go beyond your borders, Clubhouse will
Yes.
let you meet people every day from different parts of the world.
It truly does. You're absolutely right. And yeah, so Beautiful Faces Going Places, Women's Success Network. I had this vision about, I always say 5 years ago, but now I think it's been 6 years ago. As time is passing, I had this vision of creating an online chamber of commerce for women in business, leveraging technology. I'm a former Chamber of Commerce executive director, ran a very successful chamber, so passionate about really small business owners, right?
Okay.
And supporting small biz owners and entrepreneurs. I've just got to say, we all need resources. We need information, resources. Many of us work our businesses alone, and we cannot do this alone. Yes. So
don't be a solopreneur.
Yes, exactly.
What was that missing link? Because I love that you're a problem solver, and I really want to help my listeners and viewers problem solve, because life can really, trip us up, and too many get just stuck down there and they don't know how to get up. So you went from working, in corporate, not corporate, but the chamber, and then to starting your own. So what was missing? What made you take that leap? What didn't they offer?
You know what? Well, I just want to share, there was one more element. So these two elements were missing. I'm also a former adjunct professor. So I taught marketing, advertising, and consumer behavior at the European School of Economics in Rome, Italy. So I have a passion for marketing, promoting, advertising, and understanding, why people buy. There is reasons why, and so you combine that, the educational element plus marketing and promoting small business owners. What I found running a chamber of commerce is that small business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs need resources. And when I saw where we were heading with technology, I just thought, wow, if we could create an online chamber of commerce, bringing education, meaning speakers, trainers, coaches, and experts to the table, and they share their expertise that can really help level up women in business and entrepreneurs with those little pieces of the success puzzle that are missing. I like to think of success as a puzzle, and I don't know about you, but for me, all of those pieces of the puzzle are never intact or in place. There always seems to be something missing, and whether it's marketing, or maybe it's a business strategy, maybe it's the back office automation and systems, maybe it's you need help with HR or resources, customer service, sales. I mean, being a small business owner has all of these elements to running a very successful business.
It really does.
Yes.
So what makes yours different? I know there's so many women's networking groups. So, all right, we've been to the chamber. I'm sure if any woman's in business, they're probably familiar with their local chamber. And I love that you're bringing in all these resources. So what makes you a little different or a lot different?
I'd say a lot different. When I retired from Chamber World, I actually spent 1 year just networking and sampling, really taking a look at what is out there and what is missing. And what I discovered in that 1 year of just networking, you show up once a month to a local networking event. It's local, by the way, meaning it's limited by a geographic location, and you show up once a month. You pass out 6 or 8, 10 business cards if you're lucky. And do you really make those connections and have conversations and really truly get to know one another? And I felt like that was what was missing. So you spend an hour to get dressed, maybe 30 minutes to an hour to get to the event, 2 hours at the luncheon. And then an hour home. And you factor in all of that time, 4 hours on the road to hand out, 5 business cards. And did that move the needle in my business? So after a year of research,
Right.
in the field research, I discovered there's got to be a better way, leveraging
This was
technology.
before quarantine.
This was
Because you're
before
about to
quarantine.
go again. You're forward thinking as well, because you took us all out of having to
Yes.
just meet people in your neighborhood to meeting people globally. So you're ahead of your
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Love
And I thought there's got to be a better way,
Man, there
leveraging
was.
technology, utilizing Zoom and other tools, and creating opportunities for people to spark conversations, make new
Love it.
connections, create opportunities. And those opportunities are not necessarily, to sell and to pitch, but to, possibly collaborate or create new
Yeah.
opportunities, being on, as we're doing right here, sharing each other's networks. And what an opportunity this is for me to be part of, Aurea McGarry's Get Celebritized podcast TV show. And this would not have happened, prior to COVID and
Right.
prior to the old way of doing,
Let me-
business and networking.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, because I do like to talk about struggles, trials, and then successes, and overcoming that. So you were doing that. You've been doing this for like 7 years. You said. So
Yes.
you've already been global. What?
Yes, I had the
That's seven?
vision 6 years ago, and I spent
Gotcha.
2 years actually researching, how do I do this? How do I do this?
So how long has it been in
Finally,
business?
this September next month will be 3 years. We're
3 years.
celebrating 3 years of officially launching my
Okay.
company, being live, programming, membership
This
growth.
is what I want to
etc.
know. All right. So 3 years ago, this is 2021. So you're talking 2020, 2019. So about 2018, you get started. I want my listeners and viewers to really hear this. Because
Yeah.
here's a successful woman, okay, just started her business after doing massive research. So it's about 2018. Go through that. You know what it's like to be a young entrepreneur. You've been in it 1 year. I'm sure you had the normal struggles, building,
Sure.
networking, getting people in. Then you just about maybe hit your stride, and 2020 hits you. Now, thankfully, you're online. So tell me what it was like for 2020 to hit you. Were you in the right place at the right time? Did it do, like for Zoom, did it just catapult your business? Because now everybody was going online. So talk to me a little bit about how you got it, really good by the 2020, or where you were by 2020.
I was not by 2020.
Struggling. Okay. So
No, I'm
2020
going to
is
be
here. Now
honest.
what?
Yeah. So I actually struggled prior to 2020. Like, how do I get people to click on that Zoom link and show up and live and experience this virtual networking and or virtual education masterclasses or webinars or summits? How do I get people to do that? And then when COVID hit, we were in lockdown for a couple of weeks. Let me just say, I was in shock. And I'm going to say a little depressed as well, because I thought about the health and worldwide economic and health implications of what was happening. And then after about 2 weeks, I just said, oh my gosh, this is go time.
Yeah.
This is what the world needs right now. And small business owners are going to need help right now in terms of resources and learning how to use all these new technology and tools for them. Zoom, exactly. So immediately I just started planning out monthly events, whether they were lunch and learns or a summit, masterminds, business spotlights, you name it. I was bringing in the speakers, trainers, coaches, and creating opportunities so that small business owners can connect and learn and grow.
So when you did that, and Zoom was like new to all of us. I mean, I had used it too in my business, but not every day like we do now. So this happens, and you decide to kick this in high gear with the Zoom meetings and virtual, which is what you wanted to do all along. How was it received? Like, were you just like blowing up, or did it take time for people to jump on this bandwagon?
It blew up.
I bet it did. I bet it did.
It was exciting. And it was truly exciting to see, all of the Eventbrite links and attendees and people registering, and I get notified, so-and-so's registering. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, and I really just stepped back and said, there is a silver lining in all of this, So yes, we have grown. We're in momentum still and in growth. We are now officially international, which is exciting.
Awesome. So you went from how many members then to how many members now?
We went from, I'm going to think we were probably at around, maybe 20 members, paid members.
Okay.
I have a lot of I have a free
Resources.
Facebook group community.
Nice.
And I have a lot of, I don't like to just say followers, but people in our communities that are supporting. And I'd say we're probably at about maybe 100 paid members. We have we have a few sponsors, and we have a few, not a few, I'm going to say quite a few followers, if you will.
Gotcha.
And I call them friends of Beautiful Faces Going Places, because they are always invited and welcome to come in, join in, get a taste of us, and meet the other success team members, business members, and the support that you need to run a successful business.
Exactly.
So we are still small but mighty and growing.
Those micro influencers now, you can do so much with 100 people that are in your community, that are engaged, that need what you have to offer, and that are active. Most people would just kill to have 100 active friends, followers, community leaders. Imagine having a breakfast of champions with 100 people showing up that you're on the same page. You're women that want to help each other and network. And now you're not just going to a meeting that's just local, people in your zip code, give out 6 cards, and you'll never call any of them, because let's be honest, you half the time never called any of them, and nothing was happening. You were spending all that time. Now you're in a virtual room with 100 good people that are potentially your ideal clients, or somebody that could be their ideal client or back at you. So
absolutely.
So talk to us about now if you could narrow it down to 2 or 3 things that put you on the road to success now, because I know you're only just getting started and you're already in momentum and you're doing great things on Clubhouse. You've got some rooms on there. I'm going to be there on Tuesday. I saw your website. I'm going to put your website back up here because it's a great, great website. Beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com. It is beautifully done. So give us some keys to success. I've got some women listening today, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make my dream come true. And I just don't know what's next. Give us some of those nuts and bolts of what you did, so maybe it'll resonate with them.
My number one key to success really is all about belief. And I always go back to Henry Ford's quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And if you really step back and think about it, it's like, okay, so it really is about believing in yourself, and not listening to the naysayers. I recall when I first had this idea, this concept 6 years ago, sharing it with, a few close friends and family members. And I recall one comment was, do you really think someone's going to join? I'm like, yes, I do.
Exactly.
And I'd say just believe in yourself. If you truly believe in what you have to offer, you have a problem to solve, you have a solution that will help others, keep persevering, taking action, and don't give up, to keep going. Because I think a lot of us give up way too soon. We throw in the towel way too soon. So belief is my number one.
I love that. I do too. And if 2 things, if they don't believe and they're losing hope, or if they have a lot of belief, I want to throw this out there, a little piggyback on you, is to reach out. Because I always say to my friends, my clients, my community, don't do this alone. Like we were saying before, whether it was when I had cancer and I knew I wasn't alone and I reached out for prayer and I reached out for the community, whether it's you're trying to make a dream come true or a business come true, is you are not alone. And I love that you have a networking group of women that they could tap into. You got a free community, you've got a paid community, but you can jump right in right now and say, okay, I'm losing hope. This 2020 has derailed me, or I really don't know what to do next. Sure, you can get on Clubhouse, which I'm totally a fan of, and which is great, but you could tap into Carol first. You could tap into me as well and say, what do I do next? Who do you know that I need to know? Or kind of take you by the hand and say, here, let me introduce you to the room. Let me introduce you to this community. So again, you don't feel like you're just walking in, blindly.
Absolutely. It is about community. It's about collaboration and really support. And we all need that support. So you're absolutely right. Reach out to me, Aurea. I would be more than happy to listen to what are you struggling with right now in your business. If you have a brilliant idea and you don't know where to start, I'd be happy to point you in the right direction or I know of someone that can help you, and that's it.
And your Facebook group, is it the same Beautiful Faces Going Places?
Yes, it is. Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. Yes, so we've got a website, a free Facebook community, and then we have a paid community as well.
What's the difference between, and I want to ask you about your clubhouse room, because I noticed you have like a morning clubhouse room on Tuesdays at 10. I have a Celebritize Your Business Thursdays at 8. So I know we're doing a lot of stuff on Clubhouse, which is a great way for people to just find us, because people are really consuming via audio now. But what is the difference, before we go there, is between, okay, I'm in your free community versus your paid community? What are the perks and what's the price?
Right. The free community is great. It's just great to get a taste of who we are, what we do, and meet other beautiful faces, going places. Hey. And and then we have the paid group, and that is like being part of your local chamber of commerce, but it's Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. You get a profile on our business directory. So with a direct link to your website, your beautiful face, and all of your contact and social media links. And then if you sign up to be a success team member, and that is a speaker, a trainer, a coach, an expert, that has something of value that can help a woman in business or a small business owner, and you want to teach maybe a masterclass or a webinar, or maybe you'd like to host a lunch and learn, a virtual lunch and learn networking event. All of those opportunities are for our success team members. So, and at the moment it's $200 a year. And in my mind, that was a no-brainer.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly.
That definitely is a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. And I know I've worked with several, business coaches, if you will, because I work with coaches, right? And they've all said, Carol, your prices are ridiculous. And
get them while you can. They're going up.
Right. And then, COVID hit, and I said, this is not the time. So I just remain status quo, but shooting for in the new year, because of all the programming and the growth and the value that we deliver, it is time to make those adjustments. But at the moment, we just want to empower, lift up small business owners, and many of them are still hurting.
Absolutely. And you didn't stay status quo. You've never been status quo. You stayed at a reasonable cost for the people. But you're not status quo. Yeah. You've got so much good stuff going on right now too. And you've also taken the leap to get onto Clubhouse. So did your group, like my group, Celebritize Your Business, went from it's on Facebook, but it's also now a Clubhouse club. Did you do the same thing?
I did the same thing.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Yes, that's what we do. Exactly. And I thought, what a great way to make those new connections and provide opportunities to have discussions on topics that are relevant to women in business and small business owners. So yes, we have a club. It's a Women's Success Network. On Clubhouse. My handle is @Beautiful Faces, but our club is Women's Success Club. And then I'm also a co-moderator with Glenn Rudin and Maria Tan, and I met them on Clubhouse.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, they're both just amazing business coach for misfits. And then Glenn is a master messenger. So he's a master at messaging and marketing. So, and then I just moderate with them on their Clubhouse room, the Business Friends Network, on Tuesdays.
Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I love it there. But I want to tell the listeners and the viewers as well, the Clubhouse, the beauty of that too. Let's say you don't have a large following, but you've got a lot of value. You come to the table with great insight, with great education, with great professionalism. You've got a success under your belt. You can go into other people's rooms and help them moderate. It's kind of like helping being on the stage, and you're able to pour in absolutely free to this wonderful community that'll get to know, like, and trust you. And imagine going into a room of 100 people, 100 good people that are all there because they love this topic, whatever the topic may be. And you're up on the stage. It's what I do every single day. And you've got 100 or 150 people there that are here to solve this same pain or talk about this same topic, versus you trying to start from scratch, start a club, 2 or 3 people are there, which is fine, 5 people, 10 people, but you can grow so much faster together on Clubhouse. And that'll be a whole nother topic I'll bring up. I'll bring some Clubhouse friends on. I have people on here. Kelly Gunter from the Olympics. Molly Dare is going to be on it. The Mom Link is going to be on here. We're going to be talking about Clubhouse. So that's my tip for success tonight. If you're listening to this or watching this, check out Clubhouse. Get on it. Find us on Clubhouse. Look under our names. Look under beautiful faces going places. You got my name there. And we will take you by the hand there. So we will show you. You can, message us. And there's private messaging there. Now they have the back channel. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm new. Where should I go? And we'll give you all the nuts and bolts, how to find all the clubs we're members of, which are on the bottom of our profile, and you can start there. And I just love it. I love them getting back together with friends like you. Carol, last word. We only got about 2 minutes left. If you could give any wise words for women maybe struggling right now, what would you tell them?
I would say reach out to a network. You don't have to be struggling alone, and find a mentor, or sometimes our personal friends and our family are a little bit too close, and they love us, but they sometimes you need an outside perspective. So I say reach out, find a mentor, join a network, find like-minded individuals that can help you, and just pour into you.
Great advice. And I love that you have which many of us are doing this now, you have a free community. So there's no excuse. Join the free communities. My free community is Profit from Being You on Facebook. So Profit from Being You with Aurea McGarry is on Facebook. It's a free community. So if you want to celebritize your business, if you want more people to know who you are, what you do, you want to become the name brand of your industry, the Martha Stewart, the Rachel Ray, the Dr. Axe, and that's you in your industry, then I've got that free group there where you can get to know, like, and trust me and take the next steps if you want, or stay in the free community. But my tip is to engage. Don't just sit in the background and be a part of Beautiful Faces Going Places free community and never say a peep, never, comment on something or ask a question, because we can't help you if we don't hear from you. So engage. And if you know anything these days about social media, it's not about the likes or the joining. It's about the engagement. So it's so important. So Carol, I'm so glad you reached out to me. See, Carol and I are together right now because she engaged with me. Yes. She reached out and said, hey, Ray, I saw you in Clubhouse. Remember me? It's like, of course I remember you.
Right, exactly.
So, it's painless to text somebody, back chat them, Instagram message them. The only problem we're having nowadays is when somebody says, oh, Ray, I reached out to you. I'm like, okay, was it Facebook Messenger? Was it Instagram Messenger? Was it Clubhouse back channel? Yes. Was it a text? Was it WhatsApp? Was it this other one that's out there? It's like, yes. Oh, or did they call me, leave a voicemail?
You're not alone, Aurea. Yes, we have so many different ways of reaching out and connecting.
You gotta check them all.
Sometimes things slip through the cracks. And I always say,
reach out again.
Yes, if you don't hear back from me, it's not that I don't love you, I don't care about you. It may have just slipped through the cracks because there are so many different ways of connecting and reaching out.
Absolutely. Well, Carol, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of Let's Celebritize and pouring into our listeners and our viewers. So glad you're here. I'm going to tuck you right back in here as I say goodnight to everyone, and come back soon. I'll see you on Clubhouse for sure. Beautiful Faces Going Places. I will be a part of it and see you next week, of course.
Wonderful. Thank you, Aurea.
Thank you so much. And this is Aurea McGarry with Get Celebritized. I hope you enjoyed this show and never give up on your dreams, because I hope that you earn more so you can live more, so you can give back more. Don't forget to give to your favorite charity or causes, because so many people these days need your help. You heard about the Lemurs earlier today, that I'm helping with children in Haiti and different causes every single month, picking new causes and people and places and animals and whatever it is that's close to my heart to make a difference, because even $5 a day could help someone. So go out there, earn more, live more so you can get back more. This is Aurea McGarry with Get Celebritized. Have a great rest of your day or rest of your evening, and I will see you and hear you next time. Bye for now.